gram flour with yogurt-based sauce and fritters in pakoda. How does that sound? Exotic? But actually, this is nothing but our desi curry. Curry is one of my all-time favorite dishes, and today, in order to beat my lockdown and pass my time, I'm going to talk to you about the origin, the history, and the tradition and culture behind the curry. And more importantly, we are going to experiment something which is extremely exotic, and it's like a mishran of all sorts of curries from different regions. And I will be putting in herbs and spices of whatever is available in my store, in my kitchen, and we will create a curry which will have a little bit of everything from each of these states of India. Curry is a very fascinating dish. It started from Bahawalpur, continued to Ulhasnagar, covers Trans-Himalayan region, exotic to Punjab, Haryana, also Gujarat, and Rajasthan. How can I forget Marwari curry, Rajasthani curry? Curry is like the soul dish of these regions of this Indian subcontinent. They say that the curry actually originated in Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, especially the desert Rajasthan, the use of gram flour, beans and lentils were very, very important, and they were actually then subsequently borrowed from states of Punjab, Himachal, Haryana, and that is how the dish of curry originated. Since these ingredients were extensively used, the origin of curry had to happen, and how it evolved is so very, very interesting. Punjabi curry has actually a thicker sauce, and it has fritters or pakoras for that matter, where a use of little bit of greens and potatoes is always used, whereas in Gujarat these things are not used. But needless to say, all these different sorts of curries are actually delicious and normally had with boiled rice. According to food historian K.T. Acharya, they say that the word curry originated from South India, and it was evolved in the 15th century BC. Now, in different states of India where curry is used or curry is made, different ingredients are used. For example, in a state like Uttarakhand, there is extensive use of zakhiya. Zakhiya is to make tadka on top, and zakhiya is like a small seeds like rye and mustard seeds, but more or less completely different. They're far thinner than rice, and they have a completely distinct unique flavor. So they always use a tadka of green chilies with their curry and use zakhiya. Zakhiya is also used in dal. Similarly, there's a different kind of tadkas that are used in different parts. In Punjab, there are times when we use pure ghee with green chilies and tomatoes, and also dried chilies to make a tadka on top. Asafoetida or hing is an integral part, and most curries it is prominent and it is mandatory that we use hing as a flavoring agent. It comes out fantastic because there's a great harmony and balance of these flavors. So we will now go to my kitchen and we will experiment and make this mixed pan Indian subcontinental curry and see how it comes out. I have Priscilla and my boys as my guinea pigs, and let's see what we come out with, and I will be happy to share this. So we are now finally in my kitchen, and let me tell you what all has gone into the ingredients which I picked up from the store upstairs. I have methi seeds which I have soaked in water so that it softens up. This is besan which will go into my yogurt and matha. These are potatoes which will also go into my curry. Onions, kasuri methi, red chilies, curry patta, salt, little bit of dried chili powder and organic haldi. Now instead of making these pakoras, what I have done is, when I checked my store, I had something, these are mungodis, which you can use for as a snack. You can use, even put in your vegetables or curry and stuff like that. And this is made out of moong ki dal, and these mungodis will now go into my curry, so that it tastes different and unusual. This is not a usual curry recipe. It's a fusion, but I always say that there is no confusion when there is fusion. I'm also adding some mustard oil, which I have put in here, because I'm cooking in mustard oil. Then I'm using pure desi ghee, which will be used for making my tarka on top. This has got yogurt, and which I've already got this ready. And this yogurt is from home, which is ready, and I've already added gram flour to it, because gram flour also acts like a thickening agent, and the curry, the sauce becomes nice and thick, and it tastes awesome. Since this yogurt is ghar ka, and obviously the yogurt is comparatively very smooth, and curries should have a khatta aftertaste, so it should be a little sour, so that add to the tanginess. So what I'm using is, I'm using amchur. This is a dry mango powder, and this will go into my curry at a later stage when my curry is actually boiling. So we'll now start cooking. My mustard oil goes into this, and just a little bit, not too much of it, and I will make it on full flame so that the curry starts cooking and the oil heats up, and the pungentness of the mustard oil, this is organic mustard oil which I'm using, the pungentness of the mustard oil will go away, it will not smell. Now the mustard oil is beginning to leave smoke, so it's getting hot. What I'm going to do, the next thing on the agenda is, I am going to add onions to it. Now my potatoes will go in, and I will cook it for about 5-10 minutes. Now while my onion and this thing is being done, I just break my red chilies and put it in my curry. Turmeric 2 spoons. This is organic turmeric, so there is just 2 spoons that will go into it. Then salt. See, it's beginning to show a nice yellow color. Now what goes into this is the yogurt. We'll cook this for about 15-20 minutes to about 25 minutes till such time it comes to a boiling point, and both the yogurt and the masalas mix nicely, and then my curry will almost be ready. I have soaked these methi seeds, and some of it is already soaked, so it's slightly soft, so it's also going to go in. Amchur powder, what I have done is I have sort of added some water to it and made it in liquid powder because this is my souring agent for my curry other than the dahi. Since my dahi is a little sweet, this will actually give that actual tinge and the flavor to it. My Amchur powder goes in. Curry is getting ready. It has started to boil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some kasturi methi to it, which I've kept separately. Yeah. Kasturi methi is a great flavoring agent. You will see the colors already changing. And we'll let it boil for some time. While my curry is getting ready, now what is going to go into this is going to be a little bit of hing. Asafoetida, this much. Because it must have that right kind of tanginess and the right kind of flavor, because without hing. And once this is done, then I will mix it. Now my curry is almost ready, so my mangodis will go in. Instead of pakoda, I have added mangodi so that the flavor is enhanced to perfection, and it is very, very good, and it's absolutely delicious. If you will see how beautiful it is already, how beautiful it is looking. And if you see how nicely it's looking, it's already adding the texture and the colors come out, and the curry is beginning, the mangodis will soften up and just be fantastic and will go beautifully with rice. This is on the verge of completion. My work is almost done. All I need to do is that I will now be giving a zakhiya ka chhonk. I will be using some curry leaves and some chilies, and that's it in pure ghee, and my curry is ready. Let me tell you a small story about these brass cookware that I'm using. This is over 100 years old and it belongs to my grandmother, and sometimes when I cook it's always very nostalgic and I love it. Now this I used to make chhonk, right? And it's been used over a period of years and years, and for almost a century now. My grandmother's mother used it, and then my grandmother used it, partially my mother used it, and now I'm using it. It has been restored. Let me show you how. If you look at the back portion, it has already been repaired. So now you can imagine for how long it must have been used continuously, and it's still working perfectly. The weight of this is almost a kilo plus. So you can imagine the quality of the brass that has been used. So I make sure that I get the curry and everything done as in one from time to time to maintain such things. And this is my real treasure. My treasure trove is this, and actually the food tastes out of this world and fantastic in this. This is the final part of my curry making. I am going to put some desi ghee, which is also ghar ka ghee, and this will go in this. It's a little generous helping, but it doesn't matter. Okay, now my oil is well heated, my ghee is well heated, so I'm adding some zakhiya to this. And along with this will go some curry leaves. Sorry, oops. It's almost done, and what I'm going to also add is some red chili powder just to give it the color. So my tadka is ready, right? Okay, voila, now my curry is ready and it is absolutely fantastic. And I think it's just done to perfection.